Hello, my name is Michael Holmes from Homebuilding and Renovating, and today I'm with Peter Richardson of Seneck International Insurance Services, the company behind the well-known brand Self-Build Zone. And we're going to be talking about warranties for self-build. So for a self-builder or a renovator, they may have heard that they need to take out a warranty, a building warranty. What is that product and why do they need it?
Everybody knows the NHBC, so it's exactly the same as an NHBC guarantee, warranty. It covers the property for a period of 10 years for defects that may become evident after the property is finished within that 10-year period. So they may not be evident when the property is being built or in the early years, but let's say they've used a defective material that over time deteriorates or render hasn't been applied properly, and in 3 or 4 years it starts to fall off the walls. That's the sort of thing that would be covering. Windows haven't been properly sealed around the edges, so water is penetrating through the gaps. That's all covered by a warranty.
So is a warranty effectively ensuring against defective products and workmanship after consumer law no longer protects the homeowner?
Essentially that is what it is. It's there when there's no other protection around, yes.
When choosing a warranty provider, what should self-builders or renovators be looking out for?
They should be looking out for who is behind the warranty. It's not who the provider is, it's the insurance company behind it. It's where are they from, what sort of financial standing do they have, and how long they've been around, and how long are they likely to be around in the future.
And if you are comparing one warranty product with another, what are the variables that you should consider?
There isn't really a big difference between the cover provided by the warranty. They're all very much the same. So it comes down to the financial security of the insurer, and maybe how long has that warranty provider been around. We're seeing new entrants coming in on a fairly frequent basis now, but we don't see them necessarily lasting the term, certainly that Self-Build Zone has been around.
What guarantee do self-builders or renovators have that the insurer will be in place in the future should they make a claim?
Well, the self-builder should really be looking for the insurer to be at least A-rated. There are warranty providers out there who offer warranties with either unrated or lower rated insurers. Certainly in recent months we've seen a number of those unrated insurers not just withdraw from the market, but also actually become insolvent, and the warranties that they're providing are now not worth the paper they're written on.
Does that make it impossible to sell your house if you've worked with one of those insurers to provide your warranty?
In a word, yes. The new lenders will see that it's a collapsed insurer, and they would probably refuse to lend. The homeowner's only option then is to go and buy another cover retrospectively, and as I said earlier, that is far more expensive than buying it from the start. So they should look for an insurer that's rated, A-rated, and has been around a long time and is likely to be there for the 10-year duration of their policy.
And what does A-rating mean for the consumer?
It essentially it's their their financial ability to meet their current and future claims. So they have sufficient capital and reserves within the company. Should all of their policies come home to roost and have a claim, they've got enough money to pay for those claims.
So it's a measure of their financial stability, and it's a risk measure, in other words.
Yes.
And A-rated is the highest?
A is the highest. There are other versions of A. You can have a double A, A+, but as long as there's an A in there, that's the minimum somebody should be looking for.
Is there anything else you should look for when choosing a warranty provider?
I think you need to be as close as you can to the insurer themselves. So going through third parties to get to the warranty provider just puts you that 1 step or 2 steps away from being near that insurer. So get as close as you can to the insurer.
And would a warranty policy be a requirement for a lender or a home improvement lender?
As far as we know, every lender in the UK requires certainly a new built property to have a warranty in place. It's less clear with renovations and conversions, but certainly newly built properties it will be a requirement of lending, yes.
So if you're a self-builder and you're using a stage payment mortgage or any form of lending, one of the lending criteria will be you have a building warranty in place.
Correct.
For somebody who's self-building and they don't need a mortgage, do they still need to take out a building warranty?
There's no compulsion on them to take out the warranty. However, if they are selling that house within the 10 years, or their circumstances change and they need to go and borrow money against that property, then the new lender will be looking for there to be a warranty in place. Warranties you can buy them retrospectively, but they are very much more expensive, and so it would make more sense to buy it when you start the build as a backstop really to your circumstances changing in the next 10 years.
For somebody planning a self-build or a major renovation project, at what stage should they be thinking about arranging a building warranty?
They should be thinking about it before they start the work. They can arrange it and pay for it before the project starts. The cover doesn't actually start until the completion certificate is issued by the building control body.
And if somebody started their project already and didn't know that they should be taking out a warranty, is it too late, or could they take on warranty inspections after having commenced?
It's not too late. We can take on a project at really any stage, including completed. The premium will be loaded because obviously the insurer has an increased risk because they haven't had the opportunity to inspect particular stages that are important in the process. So it will certainly be more expensive for the self-builder, but there's no reason why we can't offer them a policy.
If you've taken out a building warranty, is it something that you can pass on to the next homeowner for the remaining duration of the cover?
Yes, it is. The warranty is not insuring the individual homeowner, it's actually insuring the property itself. So should you sell the property, all we need to know is who the new homeowner is, and we will issue a new certificate to that homeowner.
Some people will choose to use an inspecting architect to supervise the building work, issue progress certificates and effectively protect their dwelling using an architect's professional indemnity insurance. Is that cover an alternative to having a warranty?
It is, but it's not as good, and it's only in respect to the Defect Premises Act requirements. So if it's a defect of material issue, then if the architect hasn't made an error, because it does require negligence on their part for the cover to be claimed on, the self-builder will on their own, and also we give 10 years.
If somebody were using architect certificates to provide effectively a cover against the risk of defective workmanship or design, is that something they can pass on to a future buyer?
They would need to negotiate that with the architect. It's not something that can be passed on immediately, but if the architect's prepared to allow it to happen, then yes.
How is the premium for a building warranty calculated?
There's two elements to that. There's the total area of the property and the reinstatement cost of the property. And the reinstatement cost, we mean the professional reinstatement cost. That's what it would cost a builder to build that property, not what it's going to cost a self-builder to do it themselves.
And is it likely that there'll be much variance in the price of a warranty from different providers?
Yes, there will be difference in price. It really depends on who the insurer is behind it. As I said earlier, the unrated insurers tend to be cheaper, but then the risk you take is that they won't be there for the duration of 10 years. So it really is more about the long-term security of that cover rather than the price. Price should not be the determining factor for a self-builder, because if it does go horribly wrong for them and their insurer has gone bust, then they really have got a problem.
And is the construction system you've used a factor in determining the premium?
Yes, so if you're going to be building with a timber frame construction, for example. It doesn't make a difference to the premium particularly, but it makes a difference to the number of inspections that are taken, to the audits that we have to take through the process of the build.
To have warranty cover, are there specific building standards that you have to work to in excess of the building regulations?
Yeah, building regulations is a minimum. We have a technical manual that people can review to see what additional elements we expect them to achieve beyond building regs.
So before you can take out a warranty, you would need to make sure that your drawings and all the details of the specification comply with the requirements of the warranty provider.
As part of the service, once somebody buys a warranty from us, we'll do a plan check, we'll make sure it complies with building regulation requirements and that it's actually an achievable project.
Can you take out a building warranty on an extension or a loft conversion?
You can. We have what we call a fixed price. It's not really fixed price, it's fixed values of sum insured, where you can do that for if it's new work to an existing structure. There's no lender compulsion at the moment to have that, but if something was to go wrong because it was defective workmanship, then again, it's something to have to fall back on.
If somebody were undertaking a new basement project underneath their existing house, could they take out a building warranty for that specific project?
They could. We don't cover water ingress below ground, but certainly the structural element would be covered by it, yes.
And at what point does buildings insurance cross over with a warranty product in terms of the risks that are covered?
They don't cross over at all. The buildings policy is there to cover specified perils caused by trigger points, by damage caused by storm, flood, burst pipe, whatever. The warranty is there purely for defective workmanship and defective materials, essentially.
So they're very different risks. Somebody who has taken out buildings insurance against their home would not be protected against defective workmanship or materials on a new build.
I suppose that there is possibly one place where they could cross over, and that's probably within the foundation design. If 4 or 5 years into occupation there's a subsidence issue, the buildings insurer may look at who designed those foundations. Is it a design issue? Is it defective mortar that's in the concrete that's in the foundations? And they may look to push that back into the warranty provider, but it doesn't happen very often.
After the 10-year duration of a warranty product, are those risks no longer insurable?
The expectation is by the end of 10 years, anything that was going to become obvious will have done so, which is why the 10-year period is fixed. Sometimes some insurers will extend to 12, but not generally beyond that.